Struggling to find his path after his prison sentence, a thief meets a quadriplegic rich man, and becomes his auxiliary caregiver. But when he learns what it really means to care about somebody, he must become a new person and fix his own broken family. The film begins with Del and Philip performing dangerous maneuvers in their supercar. The police gets on their tail, and Del bets his friend that they are going to lose them. Even though they lose them for a bit, the police catches up with them. They take Del out of the car, but Philip can't do the same because he is quadriplegic. Del lies to the police and says he is rushing to the hospital because his friend is having a seizure. One of the officers checks up on him, and Philip reluctantly pretends he is having a seizure. The police opens up the path to the hospital for them, making Del burst into laughs. The film cuts 6 months back in time, when Philip is taken out of the hospital. In the meantime, Del is having a conversation with a parole officer, who tells him he needs 3 signatures from potential employers till tomorrow, in order to prove that he is looking for a job. If he is not, he will return back to jail. In Philip's house, he and his assistant Yvonne are conducting some interviews. They are seeking for an auxiliary caregiver for Philip. Del ends up in that interview out of pure luck, while Yvonne and Philip are having a hard time finding somebody suitable for the job. Tired of waiting, Del bursts into the office and tells everybody he has to go get his kid. But in any case, he just needs a sign and he will get going. After a funny dialogue, Philip offers Del the job, even though the latter was thinking he applied for a janitor. When Philip explains the real job, which is taking care of him, Del believes he is not going to be able to help him. However, Philip tells him to come back tomorrow to give it a try, and he will also sign his papers. Then, Del visits his ex-wife and son in their apartment, giving Anthony a book he stole from Philip's house. His son is not really fond of his father and leaves the room. Del wants to take a nap on the couch, because he has no place to sleep, but Latricia kicks him out. That night, Philip is having a hard time sleeping as he keeps thinking of the paragliding accident that happened, leaving him quadriplegic and killing his wife. The next day, Del comes to Philip's house. Yvonne tries to discourage him from taking the job, but it is too late for that since Del now really needs a way out to make money. Yvonne explains some rules to Del and clarifies Philip picked him because he was the worst candidate, which increases his chances of dying. Then, she also tells him he has 3 strikes. If he reaches that number, he will be fired immediately. Del gets started on his job, but he has no idea how to care for somebody, let alone in a situation like this one. Del feeds Philip his breakfast and also meets Maggie, Philip's physical therapist. Maggie shows him how to perform some basic exercises on Philip, but Del is more focused on flirting with her. Later, Philip informs Del about the "do not resuscitate" order that his doctors have issued. Del has to agree to it as his caregiver, but to do so, he has to understand it first. It basically means that Del should not take any extraordinary measures if he finds Philip not breathing. The next morning, Del receives his 2nd strike already and he is with his 1 foot out of this job. Later, he and Philip discuss about opera, which is the kind of music Philip likes to listen to. The two of them have a lot to learn, such as giving Philip a bath. Later, the two of them go out of the house, and Del sees the collection of cars Philip has. Although he has many supercars, they now use a van for him. Del does not like that and puts him inside one of the supercars. Then, they visit an art gallery and Philip buys a painting for $80,000, which seems very strange to Del. That evening, Del receives his first paycheck. He meets Latricia out of the place she works, and gives her the paycheck. But then, he ruins everything when he says he wants to get back the book he gave Anthony. While driving in the neighborhood to find his son, Del sees him taking something from a man that sells drugs. But before he can act, Yvonne sends him a message and he has to rush back home. There, Yvonne gives him his 3rd strike, but Philip covers for him, saying he was running some errands on his behalf. That night, Philip has trouble breathing and he is in pain. First, Del gives him some oxygen to breathe and then takes him out. He takes Philip to the park where they can buy a joint and they smoke it together. While they do, Del asks Philip how the accident actually happened. The latter says it was a combination of bad weather and bad judgment. For him and his wife, there was another aspect in that situation. His wife was suffering from cancer, and Philip took her paragliding to help her have some fun. Gradually, the two of them relax and they go to grab some hot dogs. There, the cashier asks Del what Philip is going to eat, but Del speaks up and prompts the cashier to ask Philip directly. While eating, they discuss Philip's book about business, which Del finds to be a bit dull. The next morning, Del spins various business ideas with Philip, but he is now faced with the part of the job he finds the most difficult, which is to take care of Philip's poop. That night, Del has another idea to make Philip feel better, and he hires 2 escorts to spend the night with them. Later, Philip takes Del to the opera to watch a show that's about 3 hours long. For Del, this is something completely new. He laughs with some parts of the show, but he likes some other parts. The next day, Del hears Philip on the walkie-talkie and he is speaking all romantically. He finds Yvonne in the living room, and asks her how long she and Philip have been together. However, Yvonne explains Philip is in an epistolary relationship with a woman named Lily, and he just dictates the letters to her, since he can't write them himself. The days go by as usual and Del keeps giving the checks to his ex-wife. One day, he sits with Philip and Yvonne, while he dictates a letter for Lily. Philip usually writes her poems that belong to others, but Del suggests Philip should write his own poems. Upon asking him what he thinks when he sees Lily, Philip reveals he has never seen her, it's just an epistolary relationship. To Del, that is very weird and he suggests they need to find out how this woman looks like. After making a search for Lily on the web, Del realizes that her letters actually have her phone number on them. He immediately calls Lily, and gives the phone to Philip to speak. Lily does not reply but Philip leaves a message for her, saying that he would love to receive a call back from her. Despite his bold move, Philip tells Yvonne that he is worried about Lily's reaction, if she sees him on the wheelchair. Del interrupts their discussion and calls everyone in the living room to show them the painting he has made. Even though the painting is quite raw, it reflects some of his passion. The next day it is Philip's birthday, so Del takes him out to spend some time with his son Anthony. The 3 of them spend some time together, but the good mood is ruined when Del asks his son to get Philip's book back. Anthony realizes that his father stole the book from Philip, a fact that makes him very disappointed. When Del takes Philip home, there are people waiting for them to wish Philip a happy birthday. Instead of being happy, Philip is infuriated because he did not want to celebrate his birthday. When he is alone with Del, the 2 of them start fighting and blaming things on each other. Philip can't do much to channel his anger but Del sees him staring at a wine bottle, brought by one of his neighbors. Upon realizing that, Del starts breaking things for the both of them. After they have channeled their anger, Philip's neighbor shows him an article about Del, informing him that he is a con artist. However, Philip already knows about his past. To help themselves enjoy the party a little more, the 2 of them share another joint. After that, Del puts some music on and starts dancing, trying to take Maggie and Yvonne with him. Then, Philip receives quite a present as Lily calls him, and asks him if they can meet over the next couple of days. Soon, Del takes Philip to his date with Lily. While they wait for her, Philip gives Del a check for $50,000, informing him that he sold his painting to their annoying neighbor. Del is excited and Lily joins the restaurant soon. Philip tells her Del will be joining them, but Lily says that is not necessary. She has researched Philip on the web and she already knows about his condition, which is totally fine with her. Del leaves them alone to enjoy their date. While the date seems to be going well, Lily gradually starts feeling overwhelmed by Philip's condition. The date gets more and more awkward. Philip tries to converse with her but Lily closes herself up. Soon, she expresses how she really feels. She thought she would be brave enough to not mind Philip's situation, but she really can't. Del takes Philip back home and tries to make him feel better. Philip states he expected this to happen, that is why he never wanted to meet her in person. The man finds it hard to believe that he let Del talk him into seeing her. The 2 of them start arguing once more and now Philip fires Del. Del has no other choice but to return back to his old neighborhood, while Philip will now have a new caregiver. Del decides to use the money he has earned to buy a new house for Latricia and Anthony. A few months later, Del has opened his own business where he builds wheelchairs. One day, Maggie pays him a visit to inform him that Philip is slowly dying. He is pushing everybody away. Del visits him at night and starts cracking jokes with him. To make him feel better, he takes him for a ride. The film cuts back to the beginning where they are first stopped by the police, and then they are led to the hospital. However, Del drives away before the nurses can get Philip. Although they do not admit it openly, they have missed each other and they bond over a discussion about music. Del takes Philip to the woods but he has prepared a surprise for him. The 2 of them will go paragliding. Del is kind of terrified of it but there is nothing he can do now. This is not just a beautiful experience but also an opportunity for Philip to come to terms with his past. After that, Del takes Philip to another date but this time it is with Yvonne, who has always appreciated him and loved him. Knowing that he is in good hands, Del returns back to Patricia and Anthony.